I have some people that see.
All right, welcome back. We're talking about stopping bullying. It's the idea behind an event this weekend at the Capitol. And here to talk about it is Gabriella, that is, Van Ray. She's a bullying prevention expert. We're going to talk a little more about the event going on this weekend. But first, we're going to talk about bullying. And Gabriella, you were telling me an interesting thing that, you know, the statistics versus reality, you see a discrepancy big time.
Totally. It's 29% is the statistics, and when I go
kids who are bullied.
Of kids who are being bullied and report it.
Okay.
And when I'm in the classrooms and in assemblies, 85% of the hands go up. So
why do you think it's not being reported?
I think it's not being reported because it's being ignored, the issue. If you think that 160,000 kids a day over the entire United States miss school, that amounts to 3 million kids a month.
Wow.
That's huge.
That is.
But we don't think about that.
Right. How do we stop bullying? I mean, it seems like it's been going on for forever.
I think bullying has gone on forever, but we have gone to a level of meanness that is beyond measure to me.
You think social media has played a part in that?
I think social media, but I think it's also our lives. We consume. We're a world of consumption. The youngest child now that walks around with a smartphone is what, 7, 8?
Yeah, right.
They walk around literally with equipment where there's nonstop a computer, where there's social media, where there's photography, where there's videography on these machines.
Yeah.
And parents really don't realize that that needs to be checked.
Sure. And it's almost like they live under a veil, right? I mean, they can almost do it anonymous, and maybe it makes it easier.
I feel that it's not only easier, but I feel that when something happens on a school setting, everyone takes a picture now. And I think that went wrong, and we need to bring back that when we take humiliating pictures or in situations of kids, why would we do that? We have one enormous commonality, which is fear.
Right.
And if we have fear in common, we all know what it's like to be bullied.
Absolutely. So how can we teach these kids? I mean, how can we get into these schools and make a difference?
I ask kids to pick up the ball of human kindness.
Okay,
I really like that word.
Yes.
And I think it's so simple, but so hard to do. Because kids don't really realize that, and I don't think adults realize, we have a choice. You have a choice every morning to be kind to someone or not. And I think that if we live our lives with action-reaction, meaning you spill my coffee this morning and I react to it violently because I had a bad day myself. But I can also say, oh my God, that happens. It's okay.
Right.
Let's move on.
Right. It's your choice.
It's a choice. But again, we live in a world where we have 2 jobs often. It's really, really busy. And the children today don't have the foundation that we used to have. I used to have a mother at home.
Right.
So when I arrived at home from school, there was someone taking care of me.
Well, that brings up a good point, because how do you, if there is a mean mom or a mean dad, I mean, typically you see the mean kids, so how do you break that cycle?
Abuse also happens in the home. For me, a bully and a victim have 2 things, totally mirror images in common, which is self-esteem. We always think that the victim is, needs to work on the self-esteem, but the bully is that kid at Walmart that has a tantrum because it wants that toy. And I think parents really need to address it instead of giving the child what it wants. And so again, the parents are not there enough to really bring that foundation into the home, and the educators are not willing. So we have this huge blame game.
Like a disconnect.
Yes, we have a total disconnect. If we could all function together, where the parent realizes that it has a role to play, educators have a role to play. And like I say, we need to bring self-liking back into it and intervention.
Sure.
Where's the parent that actually goes straight to the parents of the bully and says, listen, your kid might be a nice kid, but let's stop this right now at the source.
Absolutely.
And we don't do that.
Well, speaking of connecting, they're going to be connecting at the Capitol this weekend, and the event is going on from noon until 5. Everyone is welcome, and they're going to be talking about this issue, stopping bullying in our schools. It's good to see you. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me,
Gabriella. We'll be right back.